much for coming to the Rebels Season 2 press day.
Woo!
Hope you enjoyed everything you just saw. I know that I've enjoyed it yes, multiple times, so awesome. If everyone is settled, we have the cast here, and they're going to do a Q&A with you for about 40 minutes or so. Fun fact, most of them have not seen what you just saw, so be nice. You're getting the privilege that they did not get. But if you guys are ready, is everybody ready?
Ready.
We will do the introductions. First and foremost, Dave Filoni, executive producer, supervising director. Let's go next.
Ashley.
All right. Ashley Eckstein. Woo! Vanessa Marshall. Woo! Freddie Prinze Jr. And he's back, y'all. Dee Bradley Baker. Thanks for making us cry. So we're going to do this really casually. If we could just do a raise of hands when you guys have a question, I'll point at you and we'll hopefully get it to everybody. Okay? Go ahead.
Question, who's voicing the fifth brother?
Who's voicing the fifth brother? That's, oh my gosh. I'm blanking on the poor man's name right now. You're going to have to get that to them. Because that tells you how many episodes he's in, but I'm so sorry. Yeah, it slipped my mind at the moment.
Was that Amy who asked? I'll get it to you.
Yeah, sorry. So I know there's so many characters anymore. I don't know a lot about Star Wars. When you realize that, this will go much smoother.
Okay, next.
Yeah, Dave, I'm just curious how long it takes from the entire process for each episode, how long that process takes.
It takes a long time. You know, I've always rounded it. It takes, if you think of it in terms of a year per episode, we've gotten it down less than that nowadays. Rebels is actually made considerably faster than Clone Wars was. Clone Wars was easily a year. This, we have it down, I like to be generic and just say several months. But at the end of the day, from script to screen, to shoot an episode, like once I have the script and it's locked, so I give it to an MSOC director and I hand off all the kind of staging and screen direction, what we want to happen. That takes about 6 weeks to actually just shoot it so that it's rough proxy, and then I send it to Disney, and then they send it back, and then we all talk about what we like, what we don't like. Get 2 additional weeks to revise that reel. Once that 8-week period is over, right, it goes into animation lighting, and we're just running at that point all the way till we get it back. Probably, that takes about 3 months all said. I've got one more shot when it comes back in color to change anything that's horrifically wrong or embarrassing, and or to get something right that's not working, and then final, sound design and music. And I don't believe in the statement fix it in post. By that point, it's usually too late. So, but at every point, everything's evolutionary in Star Wars up to the last moment. So there was a case just a couple weeks ago where I was getting rid of a couple lines of dialogue in final sound block. It just hits you wrong. I've come to the decision that it's trusting that instinct when you're watching something and you just have the slightest little tick of, that's lame. But you have to stop and get rid of it. You have to crush that, and it's harder than you think. But it can make a big difference in the episode. That's what it ultimately comes down to. So, but I always think of it in terms of, I'd say Rebels is more like 8 months. Depends when you count the story started, really, from its inception.
Dave, I was curious as why you guys had it premiered the Siege of Lothal in July, and now season now debuts in October. Was there a strategy as far as why you guys released that in July, and then we had to wait so long?
It's an interesting thing to me. I don't have a lot to do with that. If you ask me right now, like, Dave, when did the show start? I don't even know. There's a whole bunch of things. I'm so busy making the show, and we're running so fast. Like, someone will say, hey, I saw the episode last night. I'm like, great. That's not the world that I'm in anymore, because Star Wars is just happening 24 hours a day. But what I found fascinating this year was when Clone Wars would end and then the next season would start. For whatever reason, it didn't ever feel like that big a period. This felt like a long time to me. Like, even to me, if you just saw, I empathize with the weight that fans have had. The only thing I can say is there's so much Star Wars news every day. I can't imagine anyone's ever lacking for Star Wars information. I mean, this is like, everything in my feed is Star Wars news, Steelers and Penguins. That's about it. Pirates every now and then. But that's about all I get. So at least there's a lot of Star Wars to talk about. But yeah, I don't know what the grand strategy was. I like to think people are just so excited to have Darth Vader and some stuff. They couldn't wait to release it. And at Celebration, we had a great opportunity. We like to connect very directly with fans of Lucasfilm. So to fill a room up with fans and have them watch Vader and we're all in the room together was an awesome opportunity because I had a lot of key creatives from my team there that don't get to do events like this. A lot of, that for the actors, I think it's important for them to hear the audience, what the reaction, what they don't. So, it's an exciting experience. It's an educational one for my crew. So I think that was a huge opportunity for us at that time.
Hey, Rick.
So obviously it's really exciting to have Ahsoka and Rex back in the mix.
Ahsoka, not.
Right. Well, let's say Wolf.
The orange one. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
But how much will they be sort of part of the crew on a regular basis? Will they kind of come in and out? And if they do come in and out, we get a good idea of what sort of adventures they're having when we're not seeing them.
Well, luckily I like T and Ashley. They're nice people, so hanging out with them isn't a problem. So they can be in a decent amount of episodes. But their story had to serve the story of the Rebels. That was the most important thing. I couldn't just haphazardly bring them in because I like them. I love the characters Ahsoka and Rex. It was hard to let them go after so long telling their stories, but it had to be purposeful. So for a long time on season 1, I didn't even want to have them in it. It would be brought up to me by different members of the story group, I think because they wanted to be nice and say, well, Dave, we're open to this. I'm like, yeah, but it's not right. Kanan, Hera, Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, they have to own that space. And everybody knew. So once you know them and you understand their character dynamics, to sit there and say, suddenly you're around the table and you go, wow, I wonder what Kanan would think of Rex. And you realize he probably wouldn't think much of Rex. That's very challenging because the kids that grow up with Rex love Rex. But if I was able to create a group of kids that love Rex, and they also separately loved Kanan, and now we have a conflict. But you also have a boy that didn't know the Clone Wars, like any kid that didn't watch the Clone Wars. So they would go, well, what's the problem with Rex? So that we found really interesting, and that helped serve the relationship of Kanan and Ezra really well. And then this one here, Ahsoka, really helps serve the story as far as if you want to have Vader in Rebels, you can't just bring him into it because he's going to crush them. Like, they don't stand a chance, Ahsoka has a personal connection to Anakin Skywalker that we believe people are interested in what's that side of the story. People are interested in what's Vader like before he realizes his son is alive. And so that became important. Plus, she's a force wielder that's way more progressed, no offense, Freddie, than Kanan.
No, she is.
She had much more training, from Anakin Skywalker directly, one of the greatest of all Jedi, from Obi-Wan Kenobi, from Yoda. So she brings that lineage to the Rebels, but a perspective which is, yeah, that didn't work for me. I walked away from it, which is also challenging then when you get to Ezra, because he's a kid, one of the first kids that's growing up where there is no Jedi Order. There is no temple for him to go to. There aren't 10,000 examples of what it means to be a great Jedi Knight. He's making it up being a student as he goes, as much as Kanan now has to make up the training based on his memory of when he was a child. Those are all interesting story problems for Star Wars Rebels to have that made it worthwhile to bring these two into it.
Disney and Lucasfilm have started opening up the tone of what Star Wars could be with different types of films. seems like you're getting a lot of room to open up and explore those avenues on the Clone Wars and now Rebels. How is that for you getting to find new places where Star Wars can kind of breathe and find a new identity? And how is that for the cast, being able to breathe a life into a franchise we all know, but give it a little twist in a modern spin?
I think for me, and then you guys should go, it's really just about the opportunities we have for the characters, and if that means, you know, that things have to get a little darker at times, then it has to. You know, as you learn more about these guys at the beginning of season 1, now in season 2, their life has to get more complex. So it's a natural